everyone, and welcome once again to Miami Minutes. This is the podcast where we don't even stop for dinner. Well, we're talking about Miami Minutes, 1 minute. Not Miami Minutes, Miami Connection, 1 minute at a time. We don't even stop for anything. We never stop. This podcast is literally, it gets aired week to week, but we've pressed record at sort of minute one, and it's been going since. It's literally not even had a water break. We are dying.
This podcast is going to keep on rocking forever. Forever.
Oh. But anyway, I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
I am your other host, John Parker, who from now on will be doing all of their cooking while dressed in Disney attire.
It's good. I was going to make you dress in attire joke, but then I'm pretty sure that you probably can buy Disney branded tires. So
it would have worked. That would have been a fantastic dad joke from someone who isn't a dad.
Yeah. I guess it still technically functions, though. It just is a thing that would actually be possible. They're ruining my joke, Disney, by your actual merchandising of every living thing and inanimate thing under the sun.
I think they're possibly even worse than Kiss.
Yeah. I would say Disney has not gone as far as the coffin. But I'm pretty sure they probably have. It's almost. I guarantee if you want to get a Disney coffin, you probably can.
Are we going to get a Sleeping Beauty one? Who else goes to sleep in it? Does Snow White go in a coffin, or is that just the Rammstein video?
She's in that bed for a while, so.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of that.
This is the thing. I only know this because I recently tried to go through the entire Disney back catalog. Of course, I might have mentioned it before because one film I was insanely impressed by was Pinocchio. I hadn't seen it since I was a kid, and then watching it now, I'm like, holy moly, this Pinocchio movie is really, really, properly amazing. But Snow White, interminable. Could not. It's like 70 minutes, could barely make it through it.
Doesn't surprise me, unfortunately. It looks rough.
Yeah, it is boring AF. And then I halted my progress because a friend of the show, Alexia from Titanic Talkline, she said that she's doing a Disney rewatch podcast where she just rants about the movies. And I was like, oh, I might as well just hang on until her podcast starts airing then, so I can follow along.
Good idea. You know what? If you guys aren't following along with this movie, you fools, you fucking idiots. That's what you should be doing. You should have chopped it into your own minutes.
Yeah. You could also listen to Alexia's Titanic podcast, which I'm sure will have no new material to talk about due to recent events at all.
As of recording, today is the day of the conclusion of the Titan saga. It's been keeping me enthralled as a Titanic buff, and maybe not as much as her.
I mean, you're not that buff, John. I mean, I wouldn't call you a Titan, but you know,
I am a Titanic buff. Yes, I'm often compared to Arnold. No, as that and a historian and things like that, I was obsessed with this story. I was just, I've got it. I had the ticker up at work on my computer at all times, telling me of all the breaking news on the BBC. They found some debris.
It was basically like Skinner looking for constellations, though, for a couple of days.
Yeah,
like 64 left ascension. No sighting.
That was basically it. It's like I just every 2 seconds I'd sort of turn around to someone and be like, "No news."
Yeah. Well, this is the fact too. This was called the Titan. It's like it's all Titan, no ick.
They wish there was no ick.
Yeah, no, there's nothing but ick. Oh well. That's weird now though, because of the news cycle. That story's probably not a big deal anymore by the time this will only air in like 2 or 3 weeks time or something. But I guess it's already out of the public consciousness.
People are like, Titan? What are you talking about? What?
But anywho, what is definitely never out of people's consciousness is Miami Connection. In particular, minute 43, which opens with a man who is, probably naive to a fault. And ends a minute later with some vagabonds committing an assault. And I don't think I don't have a lot of hope for those guys. They don't know who they're messing with.
Exactly.
But yeah. Before that, though, we get the conclusion of Jack / Joe / Jim Bobs.
Jim Bob. Oh my God, there needs to be a Jim Bob.
Yeah, unmelted Tommy Wiseau. Let's go. I still maintain, like, man, you at the end of the movie had him getting like hideously scarred with acid and then growing his hair out, and he just becomes Johnny from The Room. Fine, yeah, makes total sense to me. But
I could see it.
Yeah. Or has like he runs into the RoboCop toxic waste. There you go. that turned him into a Tommy Wiseau.
I found his approach here from Jack very interesting. Like, he wants to fit in trips to local taekwondo schools while they're on tour to promote peace and goodwill.
Maybe to play the school, I guess.
Well, I suppose you could do it, or you could do a gig as well. You could do all kinds of, like, it's a nice idea, right? But a tour is very tough, very, very, very tough. But I suppose they're not gigging every night anyway, by the sound of it, because they're going to different countries. So it could be doable.
I'm assuming they probably want to, like, the way they're going to make this tour happen is like, oh, we're going to have to stay in the schools and stuff. We'll sleep in the gym mats and stuff, and then we'll play a free gig. And it's like, but what about food? Maybe that's what John's concern is. It's like, yeah, but where the hell are we going to eat dinner, damn it?
Well, maybe they're just going to exploit the goodwill of the Taekwondo schools. Be like, yeah, you guys, you can put us up and feed us, right?
Yeah, we're promoting goodwill by, so we are in need of your charity. Because we have not got any money because we're on this demented tour around the world.
That's it. Yeah, it's my understanding that Taekwondo schools and other martial arts schools will just take you in.
It does work though, because to be fair to Dragon Sound, they do have a broad, range of ages that they appeal to. Because you can play those Dragon Sound songs to a 5-year-old, and they'll think they're the greatest thing in the world. You play them to a 35-year-old. They'll also think they're the greatest things in the world, but potentially for different reasons, But,
yeah, unless they're called Jeff, and then they won't like it.
Oh, yeah. Well, only Jeffs with Geoff. The J Jeffs are good, as far as I'm aware. Like, I think I've brought this up in previous weeks. This is like,
I think you have.
In order to make him the nemesis, I've deliberately wrote it down as Geoff.
Oh, that was it. So now I actually love that I don't know which is right and which is wrong.
Because it reminded me too of. This is a deep cut because this is a show that nobody watched. But the terrific program Wonder Falls it was made by Brian Fuller, who went on to make Hannibal, of course, mutual favorite of ours. And it starred Caroline de Havanah, who of course was Alana Bloom in Hannibal. But her whole thing was like, she was the black sheep of her family, and her family were called like Darren, Aaron, Sharon, Karen, and then her character was called Jay. It was supposed to be like, they all rhyme, and then she just doesn't, because she doesn't fit in with his family.
I like that.
Yeah, so it's the same mentality I had. It's like, oh, they're all the J names, and then Jeff is like, just because he's obviously not going to be in with them, so he is Geoff. The old-fashioned Welsh comedian way of spelling Jeff that I don't think goes. I'm pretty sure that. No, I think Americans they're only Jeffrey. Like, I've never seen outside of Europe.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Rush, but he's English, right? He's
Yeah.
So,
Well, I say English. I mean, let's say British, just because I don't actually know where he could be Welsh.
He's one of those ones. He could be from New Zealand, as far as I know. he might well.
You're not far wrong.
It's Australian.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
I had no idea. I think I've seen him do an English voice more than I think any other accent I've seen him do. But he's from a place, it's the most Australian place you could imagine, Toowoomba. Toowoomba, Australia.
Oh, wow. That really does not sound like Jeffrey McDowell is always quite proper, but no, I guess he's probably. Yeah. I'm sure I've seen him. I probably have seen him interviewed, and I forgot he's probably like, "All right, mate, it's me, it's probably Jeffrey Rush." And he's.
Well, let me just praise him then. That he in Pirates of the Caribbean, that accent is fucking flawless.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. I would have said that might be his real accent.
Oh, I'm sure maybe his great grandfather was part of the colony or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He's still plotting revenge. I'm going to go over and become one of the greatest actors that the world has ever known so I can finally take down the British Empire.
That'll show him.
It's like, I'm not contracted to all these goddamn Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
And you know what? The ultimate victory for him is they'll all think I am actually English. Ha! Fools! Pulled the wool over their eyes. Idiots.
That's the other one, too, like Peter Dinklage. Like, because he's American. And yet, every time I see him do an American accent, I'm like, no, this is wrong. This is like, no, you're Tyrion, man. You're English. Like, I've heard you. And even so much so, he shows up frequently in other things, still just doing the Tyrion voice, because they're like, well, that's what people expect of you. So
I'm in the middle on him, because I agree, right? When you hear him do an American one, it sounds like he's putting a voice on. But I also don't think his English one's great.
No, but I think it's just you're more used to hearing it. So.
Yeah.
That's the same, too, with like David Tennant, because he's Scottish, right? Mm-hmm. And then I think nowadays he gets to do it because he did Scrooge McDuck. So he gets to do the Scottish accent a little bit more. But he used to just frequently get cast in things that are like, they probably had to go to him, whoa, what's this Scottish accent about? And he was like,
yeah. What are you doing? Is this a bit?
It's like, no, do the Doctor Who voice. You're like a Mockney Cockney guy. It's like, no, I put that on. That's not my actual. Well, that's the voice we want you to do. So that's why you're watching, Jessica Jones. It's like, why is David Tennant putting on his voice of the 10th Doctor to play the villain in Jessica Jones? It's like, because they probably thought he was English. That's why.
You're probably right. Like, I have actually seen people on Twitter, like, whenever he's interviewed, going, I forgot he was Scottish.
Yeah. But the best I've seen of it was Idris Elba when he did The Wire. Because, again, most of the people on The Wire, most of them are English. I had no idea when I was watching. And his whole story was that he went in and his agent, I think, had told them, like, they want real. They want, like, proper guys. Like, they're hiring ex-cons, ex-drug dealers to be in the show. They want it to go as realistic as possible. So if you come in from friggin' London and to play a Baltimore born and raised drug dealer, they're going to tell you to get the hell out straight away. So you're going to have to pretend that you're from Baltimore. And apparently he did it, and he was just like, he's doing the voice, and he made up a whole backstory. He was like really getting into, like, where he's educated and stuff like that. And but he was really pressured, like, he didn't want to outright lie to them, so he always was like cutting corners and half answers and stuff, and he was always doing it in the Baltimore accent. And he got called back like multiple times. And then at one point, like, David Simon, the showrunner, just flat out said to him, so where are you from originally? And he was just like, oh, fucking, no, sorry, mate. Yeah, I'm from London. Yeah, I'm sorry I've been leading you on. And they were just like, I knew it. I fucking knew it was your. But they were just like, oh, no, you're great. You're great. No, you got the job. Don't worry about it. But the fact that I think he had to come back for like 7 callbacks, like, while still pretending to be from Baltimore, until they were like, no, you were good enough to, like, you kept us going. She strung that out along enough. Like, everyone else probably did it like, oh, yeah, two callbacks, you got the job. But, like, just see how long we can cook this guy.
Oh, that's incredible.
Can he stand the pressure?
What a legend.
Also, too, because YK Kim, not even from Korea. He's actually from London himself, too, but you never know. He's dedicated to every class he's done since 1984. He's kept up this accent. So
yeah, he's a famous Londoner, isn't he? Arsenal lad.
Yeah. It's actually, the YK stands for You Knobhead Kim. It was his nickname when he was like, you knobhead. And then, adopted it into YK.
Doesn't even know Taekwondo?
No. Taekwon-NO.
Oh, Taekwondo. That's got to be the name of this one. Because there's no Taekwondo. We had Taekwondo the other week.
Yeah.
And now Taekwondo.
Well, I have to say, though, this is the most genuine bit of acting we get from melted or unmelted Tommy Wiseau. But I think it's more the vibe that he's just finished. He's happy that he's finished saying his bit, like, because he has a whole like, and we'll go around and promote peace and goodwill throughout the world, and he has this little smile. And I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, he's happy that he's promoting peace and goodwill.
Yeah.
But it really gives me the vibe of he's just like, oh, thank God it's over. I said my last bits, and now I can stop acting for the rest of the movie.
Oh, bless him. He's tried. He's not great, but he's given it his best shot.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do.
But I did feel this, though, was a bit like, again, it's a bit naive. One, that you're going to be able to do this tour at all. 2, that these Taekwondo schools would want to take in Dragon Sound. And 3, like, what are Americans coming over? Majority of the Americans, obviously, Mark himself there is, legitimately from Korea. But them coming over to, or going to taekwondo schools around the world to teach them something.
Yeah, like they're masters.
Yeah, it's real preaching to the choir. It's just like, well, we know. Like, we're teaching it here, too. It's the same the world over,
To be fair, we're assuming they're going to teach. But maybe he literally means it is just like to create a friendly connection. Maybe it's to share a sparring session or something.
This should have been the scene of him going like, we'll go around and we'll spread a Miami connection throughout the entire world. We could have had a title drop in the middle of it. Damn it, they missed it.
Oh, that would have been fantastic. And you know what? You could have used this opportunity to do, this is going to sound a bit out there, to do the demonstration that we've just seen. So when he's talking about going to these different countries, it'll show you in like a thought bubble. Like them going around the world, like here they are in a taekwondo school in Italy, and you see all different shots of them working out with different people.
There's a guy's like flailing spaghetti at them or something.
Because that's how you do Italian taekwondo.
Yeah. Mark stirring pots of pasta with his toes and stuff. Yeah.
I reckon he could do that. I reckon he could make a meal with those feet.
Oh, definitely. Like, I bet you that's how he seduced his wife. Was just like, hey, baby. You think that's not all I can do with these toes? I assure you.
Oh, well, yeah. If you're into that, fair play. Fair play.
I just imagine though, like having this arm, instead of people coming at him with a knife, they're coming at him with like a crusty baguette or something.
But then he faces his ultimate nemesis when they've got the baguette between their toes, like Sebulba.
It goes to Australia. They've got all the core cat thing going.
Yeah. That'd be perfect. Oh. But speaking of food, a second ago, I know you've mentioned it briefly already, but John mentions here, all he cares about is food. He just wants to know where the food's at. And I feel him, because I base my whole day around when I'm eating. Plus that's like 90% of the fun of traveling, isn't it? You get to try new food and drink, so I get it.
Oh, totally. Well, again, though, if you can afford it, it's the thing. Unless, though, you might go and like, oh, I want to eat out of like the gutter trash chippies that are in, because that's what people will eat there if you don't have any money. So I'm still getting an authentic experience, to be fair. But I felt the same. Like usually, like this indicates to me that Mark is the guy who plans out their meals for them as well, because he's the one he has to go like, oh no, we're expected for dinner. As if they don't know what they're doing later. It's like, I always have, like, the entire week's meals planned ahead. I don't know if it's, like, a personality type kind of thing, that certain people can just go about and go, like, I think I'll have ribs tonight. And then they go out and buy ribs or whatever. Whereas I'm always, like, the Saturday, I'll be like, okay, so I can buy all this, and then that day I'll have this, and that day I'll have this, and then I can budget all my stuff around it. And there you go. That's how you live, basically.
I do that. I think it is a budget thing. If I had money, I might not. But at the same time, I don't stick rigidly like, I have to have this on a Wednesday.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But I sort of pencil it in. Yeah. like tonight I was gonna make doenjang jjigae. It's a Korean thing, and I was like, you know what? I've got too many chores to do. I'm just gonna do this quick dish instead. I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I've got the stuff though. I've got it, and it's not gonna go bad or anything.
Yeah. It's not like a rigid it must be done this day, otherwise I can't function. It's just more like, no, I know now that I've bought all this stuff, and I know what days I'm gonna like, because you don't want to have the two things 2 days in a row. So you're like, all right, so you gotta, if their meals are too similar, you're like, are you space them out so you're not having to say that kind of mentality. You just plan your week around, like, all right, this is how much money I have to spend on food.
Yeah.
And there it is, just bought, and that's what I'm gonna eat this week, instead of just like, the vibe I'm getting here, they're just like, all right, they're freewheeling college guys up to no good. But even when I was in university, I knew what I was going to be eating most days of the week, because back then, I really didn't have any money. So,
then again, we do have friends who sort of act like this, like a mutual friend, Gaz. Listeners might know him. He's been on our other show, Batminute. He just seems to, he has no plans for food. He just figures it out as he goes. And it's like, what? But, I mean, you did mention, that they have dinner plans here. Maybe Mark is running a strict calorie control system, but he does say,
it's like he needs so much MSG every week, so we have to keep going to this goddamn restaurant every night.
Hey, why not? He does only just realize when Jack brings it up, doesn't he? Because Jack's a bit worried about Uncle Song, He says, he's not been working out with the boys lately. Yeah.
I also have to say, too, in a film brimming with bad dialogue, I have to say that line of, can we take some time out for dinner while we're trying to save the world, is perhaps the worst line of dialogue in the whole movie.
Oh, I like it, though, because it's kind of, he's making fun of Jack a little bit. Like, because he's on about peace and goodwill. Like, well, okay, well, I was saving the world.
That's why he's Mark's worst student. Mark would never make fun of the concept of peace and harmony.
No, he wouldn't. That just shows, though, John is a bit more edgy.
But the thing is, though, I think it's bad for me because it's blatantly just setting up to turn the conversation towards Uncle Song. Because they're just like, something about dinner. Oh, by the way, Uncle Song, here's the transition to the next scene. It's like, yeah, it's very clunkily done. And this is a movie that's clunky as all hell. But most of the dialogue, if it's bad, it's like adorably bad. But this is just like, no, that's just crap.
Aww.
Like, that's just real, like, well, we need to find some way to bring up this guy. Hey, speaking of dinner. Like,
I don't mind it. Maybe because I watch Fast and Furious and they're always going on about food.
Oh.
You know?
I do really have been inspired. Like, I need to have more outside Mexican themed barbecues. It seems to always be always the way of the Torettos. Yeah. That table must be a pain in the ass of them because like every night they have to move that table in and out of the house. But
oh Jesus, yeah. Unless they've got two, and they leave one outside.
I don't know, because that's the thing, that will someone come and rob the table, but then like, well, maybe it's a safe neighborhood. But then that Toretto household has been attacked like 40 times.
Well, it's been blown up.
Yeah, it's been blown up. So it's like, and they can just keep rebuilding it. It's like they have to rebuild the table as well.
Yeah, and they rebuild it to the exact same blueprints and specifications as well. They don't change anything.
Yeah, but no. So again, this is kind of like a precursor, though. These guys eating outside, precursor to the fast family barbecues.
It is. But yeah, when Jack mentions Uncle Song, Mark, it suddenly triggers it like, oh shit. we're supposed to be going round. It's like he forgot. Oh fuck!
Oh my god, Uncle
We're meant to be there 5 minutes ago. And he does answer the worry though about why he's not been working out with everybody. Mark says it's because he's been having a lot of problems with his restaurant, which is a vague thing to say because that could mean just about anything. Now, luckily, the film doesn't leave us guessing because in seconds it does reveal. But imagine if you were sat in that conversation, you'd be like, "What do you mean problems? What is it? Financial? Like what's going on?"
But also, is it problems with these same guys all the time? These people who have been dining and dashing an Uncle Song because spoilers for the remainder of the minute. He's got like street toughs who just get up and walk out without paying. But you're like, so does this happen all the time? Like, have they come in multiple times and always try to dine and dash, or? And it's so much. It's happened so frequently that he's told Mark about it, and Mark's done nothing. He just sat back like, well, too bad.
Maybe Song said to him, no, don't leave it to me. Leave it to me. I don't want you getting involved. But if it's the same guys all the time, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I think maybe just like the neighborhood's going downhill. Is what it's implying because of the drugs and stuff. Yeah.
Well, it could be also that, more people are dining and dashing because, Dragon Sound themselves seem to be a load of freeloading assholes swaggering into Uncle Songs every time they want a free dinner. But
yeah, they say in this scene, there's a deleted section where they go, you know what, we never really should have written that song called Dine and Dash. It's really had a negative influence on the youth.
It was promoting Uncle Song's restaurant. They're like, oh yeah, I guess people are listening to us and the messages we have.
It was a test. Like, we'll put this out and see what happens. If anyone is listening, then there'll be a lot more grime.
Maybe that was Dexy's big hit. That's why they lost the job.
Oh yeah.
He really hates Uncle Song's restaurant. He's like, I'm taking that son of a bitch. You son of a bitch, I'm taking him down.
Oh, I didn't think we'd hear about them for a while.
He went in and tried to get a free Coke or something and ended up getting his ass kicked by Uncle Song. Like, the restaurant owner kicked my ass. I'm gonna write a song telling everybody to run out of his restaurant.
And it's also, maybe it's me being a bit naive, I would assume people dining and dashing would be very young.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is this just because in the past people looked very different, or what? But are we meant to believe these are young ruffians being rowdy?
Funnily enough, that wasn't a thing I hit up against, because I thought they look like mid-20s. And you get some...
The guy on the left does, but the rest of them?
I don't know. I thought they all kind of pass as like, oh, they're rough. You know, they're not like young teenage ruffians, but they could be from a bad neighborhood, just hanging about outside and stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Stoop kids.
I'll give them a pass, considering our heroes are clearly older.
Yeah. These are, of course, the anti-Dragon Sound. Although they're doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
This should have been the setup for, because you notice one of them, the guy who's sort of framed in center as if he's like the main guy, the leader of the group. He's wearing a Hawaii 84 shirt.
Yeah.
So it could have been, another sequel would have been going up against like the Nega Dragon Sounds.
Hawaii Connection.
There it is. A Hawaii break, because there's no connection. They're so evil, these guys. Yeah. Then but no, their ages didn't bother me. Again, maybe because of the movie, but also it was like I thought that like no, they're just assholes who are like 28 that they're still at this stuff, because you do get that. You do get this. Yeah. You get pricks at every age is the thing. So
you do. I mean, the only time I've I wasn't in a bar fight, but I was around one. The guys doing it must have been pushing 40. What are you doing? Come on.
Also, I did note though that I thought it was weird phrasing. Not to hop back too far, but John does very concernedly say, like, "Oh yeah, Uncle Song's he's not been working out with us anymore." Like, what's going on? And just the idea that Uncle Song is like what, an extra 20 years older than Marcus. They're all going out and like pumping iron together and stuff.
Yeah. He doesn't say like practicing taekwondo. No, working out.
Yeah, it sounds like that could be that Mark was like, no, he's found a new gym where they let you wear your jeans and like leather vests. You get free fingerless leather gloves when you join.
Oh my God, the betrayal of Uncle Song.
He's been suckered in by Jeff's crew.
That could be the big revelation in Hawaii Connection. The villain behind everything all along has been Uncle Song.
It's like, you guys keep coming and eating for free at my restaurant. You're ruining me. So I started formulating a plan, and I have been the architect of all your misery.
Yes. That would be genius.
Yes. I wrote a fake note pretending to be from Jim's dad, and then I had to hire a guy to show up to be Jim's dad at the end, because I didn't realize he was going to survive that fight, so, I didn't want to let him down.
It would explain how he looks.
Yeah. He just gets one of these guys from the restaurant.
Yeah.
Actually, looking at that guy in the Hawaii 84 show, that well could be Jim's dad from later in the movie. He's like, yeah, take off the bandana. There you go. Put some white powder in his hair. He's like, yeah, you'll do. Go ahead.
Oh, that guy is amazing. He is fantastic. There's something he's about to do. I'm going to save it for now. That I love.
I know what you're talking about. And the amount of times I watched the minute, every time I was still shaken when I saw what it was.
We'll get to that in a sec. But you do see Uncle Song, letting the rowdiness slide a little bit. And he's, there's nobody else in anyway. So he's like, fuck it, let them be loud. He's cooking away, humming. He's happy.
He's in jaunty form, Uncle Song. Always a song in his heart. Maybe that's why they call him Uncle Song. He's always, no matter what happens, he always meets it with a song and a smile,
Aww. Plus, I'm not actually sure what Korean etiquette is in like a restaurant. I know Chinese restaurants can often be like actually Chinese ones, not just like here in Liverpool. They can be quite loud. There's a rowdiness that's implied by going like, oh, lots of talking, friendly. Yeah. But so maybe Korea's the same, and he's like, oh, it's just normal. I don't know. I've not been to Korea. So.
It could be that these are also guys from the new gym that he's joined. Because they're all wearing the fingerless leather gloves and the bandanas of the workout attire of Jeff's gym. So it could be like, he's like, oh no, these are all my new friends. Yeah.
He's hoping the cool rubs off on him.
Yeah.
I mean, he is looking pretty cool in that Disney apron.
Oh yeah, Mickey with the old school Mickey Mouse, Mickey the chef, I guess.
Yeah. What an interesting choice. I suppose it's like, well, I live in America. I need an American thing. What's more American than Mickey Mouse?
Yes, Zutroy here is American as apple pie. I don't lieber, Mr. Burns.
Uncle Song here is as American as Mickey Mouse.
It did remind me, though, of... again, in my eyes, you never reached that height again. But I always remember the first time I saw Marina and the Diamonds. I believe we discussed on Batman the other, or maybe on this show the other. Was it the last minute that we talked about Marina? Oh no, we did because of Diamandis. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was going to say it was Batman. We record too many shows, listeners.
Yeah, but yeah, because of Jack Diamond, we talked about Marina Diamandis because that's her last name. But the first time I ever saw her was on Jules Holland, and she was wearing Mickey Mouse coveralls, like what do you call them? Yeah, coveralls, like the overalls, you know.
Yeah, or like you can also call it like a jumpsuit.
Yeah, that kind of. I just remember she had that, and one shoulder was undone, and she had like a Liza Minnelli t-shirt underneath, and she was singing "Guess What? I'm Not a Robot," and it's quite an unusual song. She got quite an unusual voice in it, and it was just so much. It was just it was very arresting. I was like, "Ooh, I like this lady," and she's never hit those heights for me again. Every time I look at her, I'm like doing other things. She's like, "Nah, I miss the Mickey Mouse overalls," quite frankly, but.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, maybe she was trying to channel some uncles. She's like, yeah, well, he's Uncle Song. Well, I'm going out and singing a song. I wear the Uncle Song attire. You know,
she's
the Mickey
anti-song.
Not like these guys are anti-Dragon Sound. She's anti as in the ant of.
Yeah. That's a good thing, actually. I don't do American listeners. I've never heard you say ant. It's always. I'm going to try and do the accent. Auntie. Now we'd say auntie.
Yeah. I get to not to get into any like just based on things I've heard in America. I know like black people tend to say auntie.
Oh.
So they'll notice like again. I was speaking of restaurants and whatnot. I was rewatching season 1 of The Bear because The Bear season 2 is out. Great show. Everyone should watch it. But that's all set in a restaurant in Chicago, and it's got a couple, black guys on the staff, and every time they always say "auntie" instead of.
I like that more than the normal like auntie.
Yeah, for a while I thought like maybe their aunt her name was T, but no, it's just like no, my auntie. This is like that's the way they seem to pronounce. It's not just The Bear; it's other shows I've heard like oh yeah, my auntie. I was like. Okay, well, I mean it's a way of pronouncing it. Yeah,
I'm into that. That's more interesting.
I never even refer to my aunts by like my aunt whatever. I just call them by their first names. It's sort of understood that they're my aunt or whatever. But
see, now I haven't met any of mine in 20 plus years. So but I think as a kid I did always call them aunt whatever. I can't even remember the names.
I think auntie as well is a very English thing. I would think you'd get your ass kicked around my neck of the woods. You call. Because wasn't there always there used to be like an English show called like Auntie's Bloomers or something.
Yeah. Auntie's Bloomers.
Just like it was such an English show with an English. You wouldn't even call something. You wouldn't call because bloomers are like underwear. Yeah. So you wouldn't call the bloomers. You wouldn't call them that in Ireland either. Like that's a very English thing to say.
Well, it's a very old-fashioned underwear choice. Having said that, they're quite popular in Japan.
Oh,
but it's like it's a fashion thing. It's like it's associated with a particular style. But that show, I loved that show. That was great. It was basically like a bloopers kind of thing.
Yeah. That's one of those shows now that just can't exist because of YouTube. Because, I think they tried to do it with, there used to be a show on, like, E4 or something that was just, like, basically, like, here is a highlights reel of things we found on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but I don't need friggin', it was like Alex Zane or someone hosting. It's like, I don't need this annoying prick showing me things. I can just go and find things on YouTube,
I think there would be a market for it, considering how people are so into, like, Twitch and things like that. I think if they just put these shows on YouTube and had the rights to use the stuff that's there already, like they had some deal going, I think it could work.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd probably get some fucker to host it like Mr. Beast or whoever the hell he is. Do you get it?
I think you need, in the age of TikTok, although I say this not particularly using TikTok myself, but it seems like the less you have in it, the less faff, the better. So a host would be like, no, you don't need a host. You just need to get to the good stuff because people's attention spans are going to hell. So
I don't know. You need someone putting shit comments on it.
But we got over the but even that was always the worst part. That was the comments over the top.
I agree, but people love it on people just stupid reactions like what.
I think like Auntie's Bloomers though used to have there'd be a crusty old Englishman like Des Lynam or someone would come out and be like, yeah, this is very amusing, isn't it?
He was even more crusty than Des Lynam. God, the Americans will be confused. Let me see his name. I remember his face vividly. Des Lynam has hosted it. No, hang on, here you go. Terry Wogan hosted it for a bit.
Oh. I'm thinking of the other. Wasn't there one called It'll Be All Right on the Night or something? And I think that was the Des guy. It was some crusty old man called Des. Oh no, Dennis Norden. That was it.
That's who I'm thinking. We're both thinking of that show as well. We're mixing them up because they're basically the same.
Yeah. But back in the 90s, that was good stuff. It was we found random funny clips. And now we're presenting them to you in a list. And I guess, that's how the concept of YouTube was born. Because it's if we could just get everyone uploading their random funny clips and get rid of this crusty old guy in the middle of it, then we really have something. But
you don't have funny names then. Here there is an episode called Auntie's Sizzling New Summer Bloomers.
That's true. That's what you could call your playlists. That maybe.
You could. That's a good idea. Let's resurrect Auntie's Bloomers as a YouTube playlist.
No, I think it has to be TikTok. I think that's where it's going to be because eventually TikTok's going to be they're going to be too long, and then you're going to have still images infused with fractions of a second of narrative blasted directly into your eyeball. It's going to be the next step. But yeah, that's what I think of TikTok's now. You never need any context. All you need is a licensed piece of music where they've turned up the pitch way too high and they just repeat it, and it has nothing to do with the clip that you're watching.
The thing I hate is where it's a clip from a movie and it's just someone lip syncing to it, and not like a drag queen lip syncs. They are literally just doing it as is.
Yeah. And sometimes you get people doing a spin on it where they'll put in brackets what they're saying.
Yeah.
But it's in the same spirit of the quote, so they're kind of making it funny. But other times it's just people literally miming the thing. And you're like, well, they paid an actor to do that in context. And it was good because they knew what they were doing. Yeah. Why am I watching some friggin' 15-year-old in their bedroom do that? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I guess this just proves we're old.
Yes, 100%.
I don't understand it. I've tried. I don't.
It doesn't have the. But the thing is, though, with something like you, I can't imagine there was ever a generational dispute about YouTube because it's so handy. My dad is 79. He loves YouTube because it just has everything. Oh
yeah, and some of the shows on YouTube that people make, I like them a lot better than actual TV programs made by production companies.
Oh, totally, 100%. So. The thing is, the problem is then that people get a lot of their information from YouTube. I was about to say, I've watched so many interesting videos that people have done video essays of 45 minutes long, and yeah, they're fascinating. They're as fascinating as as much work has gone into them as proper documentaries. But then there's the flip side of it depends on what the content is of those things because. Some people are watching these 2-hour plus documentaries, quote unquote, that are telling them unsighted, demented rantings that are radicalizing people.
Are you telling me that Sandy Hook video I watched about it being a false flag operation wasn't true?
Oh no, that was true. That was all true. they got their number.
Okay, yeah. Good. I thought we were gonna have to fight.
But yeah, then go we're only in our mid-30s, John. We should be I actually know every person. I'm sure people in their mid-20s when the 60s hit were like, "What the hell is this?" So, yeah, we are. Maybe it is the generational divide happening, but
it's happening before our eyes. And I think we're going senile. How the hell did we get onto this? We got onto Auntie's Bloomers, then we got onto TikTok.
Speaking of bloomers, speaking of bloomers, we do get an eyeful of some.
Oh yeah,
within seconds of this minute where. Well, first we do have one guy. I guess they were told to do some business, Like, you guys go and, like, improv some stuff. So a guy steals, like, an onion ring from the other guy, and they have, like, a minor spat about it, and they're kind of like...
Give me that.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Oh, my God, the Hawaii guy. That was him. When he was...
Turns out, the actual actor.
Yeah. Oh, man. I don't know. You can't really set up the context for that clip unless people have seen it, but I would just advise people to just go on YouTube and type in I think you should leave burger sketch, and then that's all you need. But like that, because the fact that actor, the guy playing him, died like a couple of months after it came out.
Oh,
I was just like, but I hope that he knew like what a legend he became in his final days.
I hope he saw the memes.
Yeah. I just hope he knows that, like, that was like the best thing I saw all last year.
Yeah.
They had a 3-hour freaking Batman movie that I loved that came out last year, but I didn't love that as much as I loved that guy going, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I want 3 hours of that. Let's make a 3-hour YouTube loop.
Although, again, YouTube, it has everything. Probably somebody already has done it.
It'll be 10 hours, though.
That's too many hours.
They're always 10 hours, these loops. I don't know how they settle on 10.
Maybe that's the proven amount of time that people can watch it without actually going like, oh, no, the hell with this. Like, I'm done.
But yeah, no, you're right. When they decide, to dash, they ain't paying. They're going to be jerks. They stand up. And these shorts. I'm reluctant to even call them shorts. In the words of Alan Partridge, I could practically see his anus.
No, he is, like, if there's not, maybe, on the other side, there is something out, but it's insane. He can't be comfortable if there's not testicle hanging out of there. Like, there's no way you have the things that, like, they're up his ass. These things are up so high.
Maybe he's tucking like a drag queen.
I mean, it could be. Maybe that's where he's getting ready to go. He's having his pre-show dinner.
No.
And it's going to be the Hawaii connection. It's like, no, it's Dragon Sound versus the drag crew. It's Drag On Sound.
Oh,
that's the
twist. I'll tell you what, though, he's not tucking very well, if so, because I'm getting an eye full of dong. You can see it. There's something going on there. You can wear what you want, but that might prove that the shorts are a little too short.
Although it just looks initially I thought he was wearing like a nappy or a diaper for American listeners, but it's so jarring because it's that in combination with the fact that he's wearing a crop top, which I also wasn't expecting. But to be fair, that's like par for the course. Like, it's the 80s, Bill S. Preston Esquire also rocked a
it's
crop
the combo
top.
Though.
It's that, and then it looks like he's doing like Tommy Pickles cosplay or something. Like,
yes, perfect.
He's got the light blue shirt on that goes up, and you see his stomach, and then he's got a nappy on. It's like, this predates Rugrats, though, right? Like, maybe that's where they got the design of Tommy Pickles, was from this guy.
We'll send a tweet out to the creators of Rugrats and go, oh yeah, we were inspired by Miami Connection.
Yeah, it was E.G. Daily. I see this. I follow E.G. Daily on Instagram. Well, see you're posting all the time. Just go, do you know if they based Tommy on this random guy from Miami Connection?
How did you know? We thought we got away with it all these years.
Yeah, I always find it quite strange though, because E.G. Daily is like a beautiful, beautiful woman. And she's always dressing very sexy, but also knowing that she's the voice of like a baby in Rugrats. It's like it's a disconnect I can't get over. Like,
you'd be enjoying an intimate evening with her, and all of a sudden that would flash before your eyes.
She does those voices in a drop of a hat too. So I can guarantee she probably slipped in Tommy Pickles' voice in an inappropriate situation. It probably has turned off guys. We're like, no, don't make me think about Rugrats. What the hell are you doing? Do like a friggin' Harley Quinn voice or something. They could do something sexy.
Then again, it might be a good test for new dates. If it doesn't repulse them, there's a problem.
Yeah. There's so many. Because even like the other thing, remember, she's in Pee-wee's Big Adventure too, but even then that's very child friendly. So I was like, no, not even that. And you got there's random teen movies in the 80s where she's like running around and like next to nothing. But even then you're still like, it's Tommy Pickles. I can't get past this. The main thing I know her for is voicing a baby. Like, okay.
Oh God. Oh no.
But no. Yeah, so this is like, and I watched this multiple times this minute. Every time he stood up, I had a kind of what? Like,
well, I've got something from the commentary track. I know I often save it for the end, but I can't. There's two things, right? Apparently, at cinema showings of the movie, the audience goes nuts, so to speak, for this guy every fucking time they show it. Every time, like everyone's like, "Woo, woo!" clapping and cheering and everything.
Well, I get it. As I said, they got a reaction from me every time. So
if I lose a bit of weight doing my current workouts, I might turn up to a screening dressed like this.
I can't believe that you on stage with a band, John. We've not come across the concept of drag on sound. You should be putting together a dragon sound tribute act imminently. That should be your whole deal now. Should be like trying to, who can you recruit to do the songs?
I would be up for doing it. Absolutely. If I can convince people, I'm in.
You've got like Ash, who always did the theme tune for the show. I'm going to imagine he'd be up for it.
And he's one of the greatest guitarists ever.
Yeah. You got that. Then he can go out and put on Angela wig, put on the mustache,
Which he probably would do.
Oh, totally. And then, and then do a drag spin on that. I'm sure there's nothing but potential for drag on sound. I'm quite stunned that no one's done it already. But
in fact, you're angry that I haven't done it already.
Not just you, that nobody's done it already.
Oh, well, the other thing in the commentary track, you're gonna love this. The actor just showed up like this. These are his clothes. He wasn't dressed by any. He just turned up in this, and they were like, "Okay, that's what we're doing."
It's like a man who's got those kind of balls to go around dressed like that casually. You don't say anything to him. You should just let him do what he wants.
That's almost what they said. Actually, it's just like, yeah, this works. Okay, cool. Yeah.
What do you say to him? Would you mind like not having your testicles hanging out?
put that thing away. Whoa.
Yeah, come on. Children could be watching this. Go on.
It's quite an eyeful. It really is. It's I'm not knocking him. He's got a good physique.
Yeah, no, and he's tall too, man. He's like he has an intimidating presence. Again, because he's just got the confidence of where that. So like, already he's tall, he's built, and he's dressed like that. I wouldn't want to mess with him. So
no. Uncle Song doesn't want to. Like we now know for a fact from the conversation earlier, Song is a fighter.
Yeah,
because we weren't sure. But knowing that, and he still, when they do what they do, he doesn't aggressively confront them. Because, they get up, as we say, they start to leave, and we are thinking, oh, is Song going to do something? He doesn't really. He's being very lenient with them. He's not aggressive. It's not really a confrontation. It's more like, please, come on.
Well, it has the same energy as, and not to go back to, I think you should leave, although that's exactly what I'm doing. It has the same energy of like, oh, come on, guys, no sloppy steaks, please. Like, no, we're not going to do it. Let's slop them up. Like, he has the vibe of the restaurateur in that sketch coming over him and like, come on, guys, don't do that again. And of course they're going to do that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, is Uncle Song, is he that much of a pacifist? That these guys have done this multiple times. And he's just like, all right, song in my heart, still going to go in there and, fry my onions and, whistle presumably a Dragon Sound song. We don't know. I was wondering if he was whistling Come On, Eileen. It's like, no, they truly have turned him.
He's turned to the dark side.
But then to let them come in again and then be like, I love to, this is a very blatant bit of ADR. I can absolutely guarantee what happened is that they just shot it without those guys just getting up and leaving. Yeah. And then someone was confused as like, why is he going after them? They just left.
Oh, I know what line. Yeah.
Yeah, so at one point they have to, you never see anybody on screen say it, but you hear them going like, I ain't paying for that shit. And just as they strut out, clearly because they're like, it just looks as if he's going to assault a bunch of guys who just left this restaurant, and we assume already, because most people would pay for the meal up front. Although that's the thing.
It depends. There's different methods, isn't there? Like a lot of Chinese restaurants here that are like this kind of thing. I know it's Korean, but we don't have a lot of them. We've only got 2 that I know of. A lot of Chinese ones, you do, when it's proper Chinese, you do pay up front. But then if it's like a fancy one, you don't. But this isn't fancy, is it?
I think there's a lot of ones where it's like, I think proper restaurants leave it till the end.
Yeah,
because they're kind of hoping that you're gonna like, you get there, you have a couple of drinks, and you're gonna be there for like an hour or two. You might decide on a dessert. You might decide on this, that, and the other. Like while you're just sitting there.
This is more like an eatery.
Yeah, this is more of like you go in, there's a set meal, you're going to be there for 20 minutes, and then you get the hell out. Kind of thing.
Like a cafe vibe.
Yeah, very much so. It doesn't have the vibe of like, oh, you can just sit here all night and then bring your friends around, and then also like, oh, maybe we'll have a couple more beers, maybe we'll have a couple more. It's like, no, you have this meal, and then you're done, and then you leave. And yeah, so my mind was like, no, you would pay up front for all this stuff. You just go in and get the set thing. But apparently not. No, these guys are attempting a classic. And it seems to be all like, it's only towards the end for the guys like, I ain't paying for that shit. They're already halfway out the door. So
yeah,
they must have some sort of psychic connection. A psychic Miami connection. Where they are like, okay, so we all know, unless they prearrange, they're like, oh, we're going to go there. And like, him saying like, I ain't paying for this shit is like, as if the food's bad. I'm sure they probably love the food. But it was already preordained that they were never going to pay for it. So.
They're such bad guys. They weren't intending to pay at all.
Yeah.
No.
And this guy can't even afford pants. Why is he going to even...
Yeah, that's why he's got the short shorts. That's all the fabric he could afford.
I had to sell half my shirt to even get here.
Pay for the bus.
To tear off my sleeves. Just to...
But these guys take advantage of it. I don't think this is more proof to me that they haven't done it before specifically. It's been different people. It's because he's so like, it's almost like pleading like, oh, I don't want to go through this again in general. Like, please. And these guys take advantage of how nice he's being about it. They push him to the fucking ground.
Yeah. And I think because as soon as they see him come out too, they know what he's coming out for. And so they're immediately ready to go with this kind of thing. So yeah. I feel for it, because I'm certain Dragon Sound didn't pay for their food that time. So he probably I can't afford another group coming in who just are going to friggin' bleed me dry. Come on, you guys have to pay.
Well, Mark's his relative. Well, is he really?
We don't know.
But, he's considered his relative.
It's all about coming
sense.
straight off minutes where we're talking about Mark being homesick leaving Korea, but now he has Uncle Song. And it's just like, well, yeah, what's his story too? Like, it's just, is it a Batman Alfred situation where he's just like, yes, it's me alone. I don't have any family, and Alfred's just right there, been like, excuse me, asshole. Like, I've been here the whole time.
The prequel.
Where he's like, yes, I'm an Orpan. I have no one but myself. And Uncle Song's like, yellow.
Oh, poor Song. I think the prequel should actually. We need another prequel now. It needs to focus on a young Song.
Yeah.
Maybe he was in the Korean War.
Maybe you go. I did. This is a tangent, but I did try the Gremlins cartoon. They got a Gremlins cartoon at the minute. It's all about the grandfather, like the guy who has Gizmo, the Chinese guy.
Yeah.
About him when he's young, Mr. Wu, I think you call him. Was it? Yeah.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
One episode, and I was like, I'm not feeling this, but. It also just feels as like, I don't know who it's aimed at, because it doesn't have the kind of energy of Gremlins. And I guess it's aimed at like little kids, but little kids won't know what Gremlins is. But also, I guess they're maybe like, well, maybe they'll grow to love Gremlins through this. But then no one seems to be watching it, so it's like, it seems to be a bit of a mess, this thing. But yeah, it did have that kind of vibe though of like, you could do a young Uncle Song with Mark, and CGI animation, and set it in ancient Korea.
Ancient? He's not that old.
Well, maybe he is. Maybe that's maybe the two of them. They're like, it's like Interview with a Vampire. They've been traveling from place to place.
I'm into it. I feel that.
Or maybe that, because he was out practicing in the sun. Maybe that's why he's like, he used to work out with us. Like, yeah, no, he has to be in his coffin all day, Uncle Song. Like, these daytime workouts in the garden, he can't do them.
And he's had to fill it with dirt from Korea.
Of course, yeah.
That's a vampire thing that seems to have died off. The whole, you have to bring your actual soil of your homeland, which they do address in What We Do in the Shadows.
I think they just chop and change these things a lot of the time. This is like this movie, the vampire rules are this, and you're like, all right, well, that's the way that these ones work. And
well, there's a lot of them over the last few years where silver hurts vampires, and I'm like, that's werewolves, isn't it?
No, I think I think that's part of like the Dracula lore. They threw in a lot of stuff, but then sometimes they'll be like, you know what? I thought it was even like in Interview with the Vampire. I think Like at the end, Christian Slater's all saying to him, like, "Oh, what about crucifixes?" He's like, "Oh no, I love crucifixes. They're beautiful." Like it's like, yeah, Anne Rice's version of vampires, they're like this. But other ones are like, I can remember my friend Tuye, who was Vietnamese. She didn't make me, but she recommended, and we watched together, a Chinese vampire movie called Mr. Vampire.
Oh.
And the whole thing is that vampires in that bounce. Like they hop. Like there's vampires going around just hopping up and down like they're rabbits.
Oh, okay.
And it's like it's a horror movie in the same way that like Hasu is a horror movie. Like it's just bonkers. And I guess some of it gets gory enough that some people might find it scary, but most of the time you're just gonna be like, what is happening? But yeah, my big thing, and saying to her, like, no, that's some Asian vampire myth is that you become a vampire if a cat walks over your grave. Oh. And then you emerge and then, like, chase people. They hop after them. And it's like, but it looks silly. And she's like, yeah, but it's vampires. The whole thing is silly.
That's interesting. I'll give it a look.
Yeah, no, there's some, different. I'm sure if you go to, like, Norway, they probably have their own version of vampires. And, all these things. Like, well, I guess even, like, let the right one in. That was Sweden. Although that's pretty, like, that's a great movie, but I think that's very much, like, that's a great book as well, actually. But I think that is very much, like, that's standard vampire fare. Like, it's, they all the same rules apply, kind of thing.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. But yeah, so we do have the fall of Uncle Song.
Oh no, the fall of Song. That could also be the name. Oh no. But I mean, now we know he's a fighter. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you done goofed.
Oh no, totally. These guys, they are for it. Like next minute is going to be the downfall, the fall of, Dragon Sound or whatever you want to call these guys.
We've already got the next episode's title right there. If only they knew the power of the song.
Obi-Wan never told them what happened to their father. I was going to see if there was any way I could continue that. I was like, nah, I think I'll just end up just quoting the scene verbatim, really.
Well, we'll just start reading the entire script.
Yeah. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. No, I am your uncle.
Oh, no. That's impossible.
Oh, wrong show. We don't even we have Mark Hamill on the other show currently, but we don't get to have any Mark Hamill crossover here. Although at 87, when this came out, he might have been in the position of his career. He's like, yeah, I'll start Miami Connection. Like I got nothing else going on.
Could have been a meeting of the Marks.
Oh, there you go. Maybe it was written for him. That's why they called him Mark.
This part was written for Mark Hamill, but then he turned up on set, and it turned out he didn't know Taekwondo. I thought everybody knew Taekwondo.
And then his shorts were too tight. Like, this guy was pushing it, but Mark Hamill's was like nothing left to the imagination.
He ended up hospitalized.
Yeah. You know, when he injured himself at the start of The Empire Strikes Back, and they had to like work the scars into the. It was just that, but you couldn't even work it into the story.
It was too adult.
Yeah, but that's why his Joker voice is so high pitched.
It all stems from this injury on Miami Connection.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm all. I do have some notes on other people's attire, but I think they can be saved for next minute. So,
okay.
I think we get seeing a bit more of them then. But
yeah, well, I will break people's hearts, as you may have realised. I've not forgotten. No drinks today, people. No drinks.
I mean, there's one guy there. He's wearing so little material, he might as well be shirtless. You know.
I'm not counting it. If you want to count it, feel free, listeners. Feel free.
Can you have a? What do you call them? The English pubs? Can you have a half? For he's exposing his stomach. You can have a half pint for that.
If anyone drinks half pints, you're no friend of mine.
No,
because I'm a bloke. I'm a bloody bloke. I am.
I have to explain that to my dad because I'm back in Ireland currently. I just explained that to him the other day because he was giving out. But like, remember we used to do half pints? Like, what the hell was that? And I was like, no, they've remarketed it nowadays. They call them schooners. It's not quite the same, but it's basically the same.
I think that's a 2/3, maybe.
So it's even, it's still insulting because it's just like, just give you the whole damn thing. But I think they're even, to me, a schooner feels smaller than a half pint. But
I might be wrong. It might be. I think it's 2/3. Don't quote me on it. You'd have to look it up.
At least in a half pint, though, they usually give you it in a pint glass, at least. But the schooner's in a specialized little baby glass. And you're like, come on, man.
It's an American thing. Americans giving us their weird drinks.
Oh yeah, no, that was the added insult was like it's infiltrated the UK drinking culture. It's such an American name, the schooner as well. And there's like, what is that? What's become of people?
Over here we drink pints, proper pints.
It should have a handle on the mug and everything as well. But those have been phased out too. You very rarely get that. But
that's why I have specifically purchased a one from Germany with a big handle. It's like, oh, this is old school. This is good.
yeah, totally, yeah. That's the first thing I always think of. What it was, although ironically enough, he's in America at the time, but it always looks such a good pint. But he's got a good sturdy pint with a sturdy handle. Is in Django Unchained.
Oh,
and you see Christoph Waltz, German man. He goes for a drink at one point. And I just remember like, oh, he's got a great beard, he's got a cool outfit, he's sitting with this really great looking pint, and I'm like, yeah, Tarantino, I give you stick sometimes, man, but you got some talent in there somewhere. And I say that I actually love Quentin Tarantino, but
yeah, I was gonna say, hang on,
I give him stick for certain things, but
which is fine.
No, but he's not. He's far from infallible. But one thing you can definitely do is frame Christoph Waltz with a pint. Because every time I even think about it now, I just want a pint. So.
I know I haven't got any drinks in. Now you're making me want to go to the shop. Fuck you.
Oh, I think now about back in my dad's. I think he does have a pint glass with a handle, and I have got a beer in the fridge. So I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, I'll let you drink it, even though there's no drinks in the episode. Fine.
There's technically these guys are drinking. They're on. But they're on one of these things. It looks like, again, I think we might have encountered these bottles before. They look like bottles of Beck's you get over here. But you see the label. The labels are kind of like white. And they've got, it looks like there's a shield on them. And then they've got like a red line at an angle going down across the shield. Yeah, I have no idea. I'm sure it's probably some very cheap American brand that might well have gone out of business. But by the time this movie even came out, they might have been on the way out.
Yeah, I can't see. There's definitely a can on the table of Budweiser. If you look in the middle of two green bottles, that looks like a Bud to me. Yeah, it used to be more white, didn't it?
I thought that was like a glass bottle of milk. So.
Oh no! Hang on. If you look further, it's literally in the center, like in front of the Hawaii guy.
Oh, that's the thing I'm thinking of. I thought that was a bottle of milk.
No, that's defo a Bud. But the green ones, I have no idea. And then to the left of them, it looks like a modern craft beer. It's got like that stripe on it. It could be like a soda, I guess.
Nah, I think these guys, they come in. The peer pressure alone would make them all have to drink beer. If one of them is drinking beer, they're all gonna have to drink beer. Because if someone comes in and asks for a soda, then like no, they're gonna get bullied. But,
toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
If you want to drink a soda, drink a soda. I'm talking like American soda. It's because if I called it a fizzy drink, people would be like, "What?" or pop.
Yeah. Although I've heard people in America also refer to it as pop.
Yeah, but they get made fun of.
Well.
So, yeah.
Well, but yeah. I mean, I'm all noted out for minute 43.
Yes, we will break the connection. Not with Hawaii, because that's our favorite. We're going to forge one. We're going to break the connection with Miami and move to Hawaii. And join us on Facebook at the Hawaii Minutes Taekwondo Orphanage. Well, it's actually Miami. Twitter at Miami Minutes, Instagram Miami Minutes, and why don't you go to our Patreon or TeePublic? It's Sleepy Charlie Media on both of those, our network. Give us your money, give us your dough, keeps the show on the air, and keep
you were making a poem there for a second.
No, well, maybe I will. Next time I'll come up with
give us your money, give us your dough. Oh, I forgot the rest of it.
Give us your cocaine, give us your life.
Listen to me.